So it's all to play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hello, Aston Villa fans, and let me take this off because I'm no Paddy. Hello, Aston Villa fans. Villa 2, Everton 0. Brilliant day out for Aston Villa. Brilliant day's work. Didn't look like it in the first half. Everton came and wanted to aerially bombard us. They definitely got the better of us for 20 minutes in the first half. Aston Villa regrouped at half-time and came out in the second half and were a completely different beast. 2 goals, as I mentioned. One, a penalty won by John McGinn, scored by Ollie Watkins. And I must give a round of applause to Ollie Watkins because 5 in 5, something no other Aston Villa player has ever done. And he must be commended for that. It's a fantastic achievement. This guy has gone from strength to strength since Unai Emery has been over the team. I always backed him. I have to say that because this is a momentous occasion for him as an Aston Villa striker. I do think I always backed him. I always knew that he would find form again. You look at his statistics over the last 2 seasons. He's been much better than the early half of this season suggested, and he's now showing that. And he's one of the most lethal strikers in the Premier League at the moment. I know he scored this as a penalty here, but you know, from a goals to games ratio since Unai Emery came in, he's really doing the business. And congratulations to him. Well done to him. Well done to Aston Villa. We needed a win. If we could only play every game away from home, it might be a plus point for Aston Villa Football Club. But as I say, a win is a win is a win. And after a first half whereby we had to be dogged, we had to be resolute, we rode our luck at times, I think that we'll definitely take that. Obviously, I'm going to come first of all, I suppose, before I talk about the goals, to what could have been a second week of conceding one of those absolutely mind-blowing goals. I think all of you know what I'm talking about. That one where Alex Iwobi takes the shot, comes off Konza, who's lying down beside the post, comes back, hits off, and Neil Maupay goes for it with Martinez, comes to somebody at the back post. I think it might have been Dwight McNeil, I'm not sure. Hits off Mings. Mings has to get a toe to it when it's on the line and gets it out out from danger. Absolutely mind-blowing stuff that was. And yet another goal we could have conceded that would never, ever be scored in a million years. But thankfully, we didn't concede that goal. And Aston Villa went on then. And as the 2 goals we scored, the penalty we got was a penalty. I think it was a penalty for sure. Everton had a penalty shout afterwards, and Mikalenko, the crowd shouted for it. That was nowhere near a penalty in my book. It just wasn't. It was a perfect challenge, and I think VAR did the right thing there. Ollie Watkins stuck that penalty, and he could have been inside his own head after Jordan Pickford made that absolutely brilliant save from the header just moments before. But Ollie Watkins stood up. He has missed a few penalties over his career. He stood up, stuck it in the back of the net, gave us a 1-0 win. And at 1-0, I never thought we were going to lose, obviously, at that stage. I thought we were going to go on and win that game at 1-0. I didn't even see a draw in the books then. We seemed to puff our chest out a small bit more. The second goal was brilliant. The second goal was really well worked. Emi Buendia came on. He made such a big difference. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he passed the ball to McGinn, who won the penalty, and then he comes on and he scores the goal. We spoke beforehand to see was there method behind the madness. We tried to search for it. Maybe that Leon Bailey was there to stretch their defence in counter-attacking play. It didn't work for Leon Bailey again. All too often this season it hasn't worked for Leon Bailey, and last season as well. When it works, it works. When it doesn't, he spends a lot of time on the ground. And when he came off and Emi Buendia came on, it looked like it was, Aston Villa looked more toothful. If you're toothless in attack, then are you more toothful? Does that make sense? If it doesn't, you know what I'm saying anyway. So that was good. That was great to see. But Aston Villa 2, Everton 0. I'm buzzing. I really am. This won't be a very long one. I do have to hop in the car and travel very, very soon. But I just wanted to give a shout out to a couple of players. I thought Matty Cash had a really, really tough game against Dwight McNeil. But you know what? I still thought he played really well. It was a battle out there. I thought it was an old-fashioned late 90s, early 2000s Premier League battle between a winger and a fullback. And the winger should nearly always get the better of a fullback. But I thought Matty Cash was dogged. He thought he really dug in there. Yes, Dwight McNeil got the better of him and crossed in a lot of balls. But I thought Cash showed a lot of character not to give up, not to foul him, not to resort to silly things like that. And I thought that I want to give him a shout out as an honourable mention. Thought Tyrone Mings was really disciplined today as well. Really liked how he played. John McGinn as well. John McGinn went through a ton of work. Gave away a silly foul at the edge of our box just on the stroke of half time when he kind of dragged down on Anna trying to play for a free himself. But apart from that, I thought he got about the field. Ollie Watkins I thought was really good. Buendia was really good. Players that I think need to really kind of sit back and look it up in their game. I think Jacob Ramsey couldn't get into this game today. And I think he needs to get used to playing that position a small bit more. But once again, he's a young player coming back from injury at the start of the season, thrown into this game. Probably late in the week. Coutinho, I would imagine Coutinho was starting in that position. Jacob Ramsey is thrown in there late in the week, but didn't really affect the game an awful lot, but wasn't poor by any means. Leon Bailey was the only one that really kind of stood out to me. That was, things broke down when they went through him. And when Buendia came on, we looked like we were a better force going forward. So that's food for thought, I think, for Unai Emery. And if Unai Emery is going to drip feed John Duran into this team, I think he might need to drip feed him a small bit quicker than we've seen. Just because since the transfer window is closed, we've seen some players elevate their games. Ollie Watkins mainly being that player. We needed Leon Bailey to up his game since the transfer window closed. We aren't seeing it just yet. He arguably was a better player when he wasn't arguably, he was better when he was scoring goals and everything before the transfer window closed. But look, we've had some tough games. He does need to get better, and we need him. We need this squad. We can't have players who are that low on confidence and that low on form. We just can't have them within it. That are because we're going to need everybody to contribute. We really are. Martinez, I want to spare a few words for Emi Martinez. Made some really, really good saves when they were needed. A header from Onana, and yes, he did get booked for time wasting again, but I'm sure people won't mind him time wasting in the 77th minute when we're 1-0 up, as opposed to time wasting in the 64th minute when it was 0-0. Not when it was 0-0, it was 2-2 against Arsenal. I suppose it's different when we look at it that way, but I thought he was really good today. I thought he was I thought he made up for his performance against Arsenal for sure. There, I'm going to come to some of your comments in a moment. I just want to check something here actually I won't bother. We won't get into statistics or anything, but I just want to check some of your comments, everybody. Oh, a couple of super chats in there. Thank you so much, Generic Villafan. Really appreciate it there. He says the last 10 minutes, perfect game management. Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. We looked as a team as if we coherently learned to not press the panic button and just kind of breathe out and understand that we needed to get these points away from home, which is fantastic. Joey Piccolino, what an absolutely amazing name. Brilliant. Round of applause. If that's your real name, I'm jealous, man. I'm jealous. That's a super, super name. And thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. As well, a couple of guys there in there. Really Random Review says brilliant performance. Peter McTaggart says fantastic second half. Tim Mosley says great result. Music Junkie, I was going to save this one for the very, very end, but I do think I'm going to say it now. And he says, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Absolutely. If you think I'm not going to enjoy what I'm going to do later on this evening, I'm going to a gig for the first time in a while, and I'm going to enjoy the absolute hell out of it. And I'll deal with the sore head in the morning. So I will definitely enjoy myself. Aston Villa Armchair fan says, tough match, not a lot of quality, but fantastic result. Well done, Ollie. 5 in a row, buzzing for him in the team. I don't think we needed quality today. I don't think we wanted to have a silky performance. I wanted more of a coherent performance, and I wanted us to look like we were doing something at the back. And there was times when we didn't. I have to admit, there was times when in that first half, in the last 20 minutes, where we rode our luck, and that's okay too, because I think that balances out for the poor luck we had. with the ball coming down off the crossbar hitting Emi Martinez last week. So if they say that your luck balance is out over the course of the year, I think we can fairly say the last 2 games did that there. Where else are we? Chris Cal says that Watkins now showing why we paid the money. Class and great for the lad. He seems like a super individual off the field as well. You know, you're not. Here's me putting the curse of death on him now. Where's my touch wood here? That you're not going to see him falling out of nightclubs, you know, with his eyes popping out of his head and a slightly itchy tip of his nose, you know, at any stage. I don't think Ollie Watkins will be doing anything like that. He seems like a really solid individual, and that's that. You know, you need that. You need to have players that are able to put on their big boy pants and take the load on their shoulders, and he seems to be doing that. He is doing that as a striker, and we need to keep him on form. As I said before the game, if you have a striker on form, you always have a chance. You absolutely always have a chance in the game if you have a striker on form. Where are we? Patrick Hopkinson says the black shirt hoodoo is over. The black shirt hoodoo was killed at Southampton, if I'm not mistaken. Myself and Paddy were wearing the black shirts one day and we were laughing in the face of danger. But yes, it's staying dead. That's what I like to see, is the more games we win with the black shirt on, the better, for sure. McGinn was back to his... Oh, where's that? Sai says McGinn was back to his classy to his best in the second half. I agree. Greetings from Anchorage, Alaska. Excellent. Great to have you, Paddy Collins. There's definitely Irish in there somewhere if your name is Paddy Collins and you're... let us know. What a great start to the weekend. Absolutely. And for you, it's probably 8 hours behind. So it's probably only about 7 minutes past 9 or 7 minutes past 11 in the morning. So no, 7 minutes past, where's my maths? 9 in the morning. So you're definitely going to have a great weekend. Your weekend is off to a very, very good start. I'm going to flick down here. Paul O'Neill, I agree with this as well. Great result. Kudos to Emery. He knows how to change it up when needed. And shout out to Cash. Best game under the new regime. I absolutely agree with that too. We have Matt Hanlon is in. He says, points for podcasters. Team did well. Cash was a scrapper. I know Paddy will make his normal Bailey Gumbels, but let's feel good. Well, I think he's justified that Bailey was a small little bit off form today, but it's fine, you know, when we get the results like that, and when the result is born of, I suppose, Buendia coming on, which did kind of but it did change the game in our favour. He laid that ball onto McGinn he assisted the assist for the penalty, if there is such a thing. So yeah, as I say, look, we'll definitely, there's loads of positives to take from this, and I know that Unai Emery absolutely will do that for sure. Where are we? Just a quick one for you guys. Put it in the comments there. Which team do you think had the more passes today? Do you think Aston Villa passed the ball more, or do you think that Everton passed the ball more? Because if you think that Everton passed the ball more today, you'd be wrong. Aston Villa did. But isn't it mad? Like, when you watch the game like that, Everton had a lot more possession, specifically in the first half, and you'd think that maybe that they were a bit on top from that point of view, but no. Aston Villa had more passes today, and that's what I'm here for. I'm here for trying to own that possession. We own the possession as well, 53.2%. I think we did. It looked like we had more possession, but I thought that Everton might have had a few more passes than they actually did. But look, as I say, passes don't really mean anything if they don't end up in the ball going into the back of the net at some stage. So I agree with you here as well. I thought Dino was solid. Solid today. That's exactly what I would call him. I would call him solid as well. Didn't make any mistakes. Only went forward 1 or 2 occasions. Marshall Iwobi was down the right hand side. The left hand side was a lot more open. The 2 guys over there had way more work to do. But yeah, Luke Dean, no qualms him today. The guy's defensive duties right, and fair play to him. I really, really have no qualms over that, I suppose, for sure. Guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Standing on the Word says we beat them in every department except they have more shots, but same amount as us. We're off target. I it's a hard one to say that we be like they had more clear cut chances, I think, than we did. But look, at the end of the day, we had more of the ball, had more passes. We looked like a more coherent unit, which was good. Away from home as well, which was good. We quietened the crowd when we needed to, which was good. So there was a bit more of a grown up performance, I think, from this team there, and I'm here for that. I'm all here for that. Um, and Paul Miller, yeah, we mentioned that as well. Big shout out for Ming's goal line clearance as well. So, guys, I think that's going to do it. I'm really sorry, a very shorter one. We will come back maybe tomorrow evening or maybe Monday with Paddy to see what he thought of it. But for now, Everton 0, Aston Villa 2. We are level on points with Chelsea now. Unless Chelsea have they haven't won because they haven't played. Yeah, we're level on points with Chelsea at the moment. Haven't played one more game. We're 5 points ahead of Crystal Palace, and we're 4 points behind Brentford. So keeping us above there. 10 points off the relegation zone. Everton still in the relegation zone at the moment. 1 point behind Leeds. Keep trucking on here, guys. We've got a couple of more games coming up. We've got Crystal Palace coming up. We've got a couple of more games that we should be able to stick in there and get points from. I'm not saying that we're going to win all our next games, but keep that points ticking over till we get to a situation whereby we're safe first and foremost, and then secondly, where we can maybe experiment more. I know people have mentioned previously, why are there 2 goalkeepers on the bench? I think if and when we get safe, might be an opportunity then to maybe give Caden Young some minutes at the end of games. Maybe change, bring in some of those players from the younger squads, the under 21s, the under 23s, whatever they're called now, and the under 18 squads, and see what they can do with a couple of minutes towards the end of the year. Because I know that after one win, there will be talks of Europe again. Look, we're 4 points off it in realistic terms behind Brighton, but look, like I can't with any great countenance sit here and put my hand on my heart and say that I believe that we have a shot at getting Europe. I don't think we do. I just think that we consolidate our position for the time being, enjoy the win that we have, and see what the rest of the season brings. But until then, guys, everybody, I need to run away. I hope you all have a fantastic night, and I hope that we will see you all safe and sound over the next few days, and we will be back on. But thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for chatting today. Please give it a thumbs up if you can. Share it around. And love you all. Have a great weekend. And all that's left to say is up the Villa.